Introduce yourself.
My name is Dick Thomas Murphy.
All right.
Yeah.
And today we'll be talking about the Buffalo Soldiers.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
one of the great men.
Okay. So tell me a little about the Buffalo Soldiers. Start from the beginning.
Well, what I learned through asking a lot of questions and doing some studying, I found out that the Buffalo Soldiers was activated right along during the time that the Civil War was over. And so when they activated, because the Buffalo Soldiers, the people want to make a contribution to the war effort. They find themselves, as the war was ending, that they had a meal task instead of fighting. They had to put up forts. As a matter of fact, the Pony Express had great need of them. Also, Wells Fargo, we know of as the bank today. So the Buffalo Soldiers evolved over a period of time through balance and all, about 100 different types of war effort that they had been in. They was active, especially in Geronimo, Punchoville, and other. And down at the border, they did a lot of fighting way back in the day. So I can say from the one thing about they getting their name from is from the Cheyenne Indians. So what they did was a man named John Randall was taking a crew of people on a buffalo hunt. They found out that instead of they hunting buffalo, the Cheyenne was hunting them. And so the scrimmage broke out. They had to hide under a ravine where old railroad and Water Creek was. And so he helped off, John Randall helped off 72 of them, Cheyenne. And he was wounded. He was lanced. That means he was cut 11 times. He was shot, they said, about 9 times. And he killed 13 Cheyenne Indians before they retreated. So he was a tough man. And I love that to look at the movie about John Wayne. But John Wayne was a movie star. John Randall was the real deal. And so we haven't seen in the movies anything concerning that. Long as there has been, this story has been lurking around. Nobody has taken hold. I hope in our future that some of our black actors and directors will take on this movie about John Randall. And as time has gone on, the Buffalo Soldier was active in a lot of duties, overseas also, and some of the parents had kids that go to Tuskegee. They called the Tuskegee Airmen. So they was involved with the many activities of fight. And we always heard folks said that how we was a little slow about, and we were scared when it comes about the war. And it was been proven that we, from in motherland, Africa, got about 20 or 30 women king, or not king, or queen. A host of kings. And through time to this present time, Black has been buried into all our walls. I was listening at TV the other day about Colin Powell. So we see that they have been active in many instances. So we get to right now, today, there are still a lot of Buffalo soldiers. And let me tell you something that would give you some inspiration. The 9th Cavalry and the 10th Cavalry was broken up and were made the 101st Cav Division. That beautiful yellow patch with the horse head on. So that was a beautiful thing that they merged, and then as time gone on, they start to melting together, because at one point in time it was just the Buffalo soldiers. Until time passed, we had to find out that they had to merge them together. Yes, we've been a racial divide. Yes, it's been all this many years, but we're still working on it, and I hope in the future that we'll come to understand the divide, that we can come together as a nation, what it was intent to do, to be able to work out our differences and work it towards a better place that our children and grandchildren can live. Yes, again, we're still talking about the Buffalo soldiers, and we see that they have persevered in many ways. Now, many times they gave us broken down mules, and somehow they got them old remnants from motherland and worked it up with the donkeys, the horses, and all. They became what they were skinny. They came back to health. Gave us broke down wagons. The brothers fixed the wagon. Many things that Black brothers, Buffalo soldiers did. And a lot of times they didn't, from my understanding, they went to certain towns and they wasn't allowed to come in town with guns on the side, even though they was a Buffalo soldiers by the government. We have seen more things in the last 100 years we ever seen in our lives concerning the Buffalo soldiers. And we're still active. We got another trace of people, of Buffalo soldiers, in the 761st Tank Battalion. And one of the things I will let you know, that they was highly decorated. From my understanding, they had 90 medals of honor when they fought over in France and in Germany. So they have put forth an effort. Great warriors come from our motherland, fatherland, instilled into our blood. Warrior that is not scared. I remember looking at Jack Benny some years ago. They had a guy named Kenny up there. He was acting like they were just making it look like we didn't understand nothing. We couldn't read, we couldn't write. And I always remember this, yes sir, yes sir. And at that point in time, they were making little of Black people on national TV. And at certain points of time, we thought it was funny. Some of us thought it was funny. That was racial demagoguery going on. And we see it till even down today. But we are still working on it. We're working on it. And let me tell you, with those things that happened to a lot of the Buffalo soldiers, they perseverance over there in Germany. And they came back home and was not even welcome home. I heard many people tell me about it. The Panther Avenger. I heard the guy was telling me not too long ago, when he was younger, the veteran, telling me that he didn't get his veteran benefits because he's black. They said they were waiting for him to die. He got one foot in the grave, one out. I went to a DAV place, and that's what we were discussing. We already know, from the black point of view, we know what's going on, but our government refused to acknowledge our blacks, special in their beneficial that they do them. The government have set up a lot of things that will cause confusion, and that we are not able to get our benefit because they want black folks to not have it. The white people can get it, but we have to suffer and wait around till there's none left, and then they say, well, you waited till the benefit ran out. But we're still striving in this country. We're still giving our best. And it makes me be thankful to look around and see many older ones being on the front of passing away. And we haven't got the full story yet, because they have given their all. At one point in time, matter of fact, they tell me that the white soldiers got $11 for a whole month for serving, and the black soldiers got $5 because our skin was dark skin. We couldn't get what the white man. The shoes that we got didn't get brand new shoes. We got the used shoes off the dead people. So we're studying, striving, even though the world look at us at a certain way. But we're gonna continue as a soldier. And I'm just a representative. I see the battle. I see the interest that we had, that our black soldiers were trying to feed their family during the time of transition. They was trying. People fled to the north where the industrial was. Because the south, if you didn't, the 40 acres and a mule and won't share cropping, they didn't have nothing to do with you. We always figured out having the top end. And a lot of folks, I was riding on the road one day coming from down south. The young man was telling why they were so upset. He said, don't you realize the American, the white folks lost a lot of money when they were free? They wasn't getting the money that they used to. They wasn't getting all the other things that they needed. But from my understanding, at the end of the war, that the government gave them $100,000 and gave 100 acres of land to go along with it. They were truly paid. But the black man wasn't given anything. And if he went and just look, Ema get food from his own master bond. They were shot and killed. Even though they had made the man many dollars, they didn't have no understanding that the ones that were trying to be free, they had to kill them. So it was a lot of things that went on. And then another thing I want to add too is concerning many of the Buffalo Soldiers and the natives. And I was talking to a young man and he was telling me he don't like what the Buffalo Soldiers did. I told him, when you go in the army, you sign up for Uncle Sam. You got to do what they tell you to do. If you don't, you can be court-martialed. A lot of things that happened during Vietnam era that went on in the name of war. War is a cottage thing. There's nothing good about it. And even some of the Bruce Springsteen, I believe, sung the song. What war is good for? It's good absolutely nothing. Or heartache, death, and carnage. Genocide and all. So if in the future, I hope that the country and other countries look in and see what's going on and take it upon themselves. Don't have the racial divide. Let's come together and give it all we got and work together, and it'll be a better world.
So how was the living back then? Like,
My understanding is basically like today. Yeah, they didn't have it like this, 3 bedrooms, a bathroom on the inside. They had a bathroom outside. Everybody know about the John. And they got, and the way you can tell a John is they got a moon on the front door. I don't know what that moon is. It must be about midnight when you go out there. You got to go to the restroom and you got to go. But it was a lot that went on during that time, and people had to persevere through it all. When they forced going west, especially the Buffalo Soldiers, many hardships. I got a picture there in the book that when they were going through, can you imagine? This is my thought of you. You can see it in one of my shots later. Somebody along the way had to fall on their knees and pray because how they were being mistreated. But they didn't have no money. They had to endure. Can you imagine having to send money home to your wife? You ain't seen your wife in 3 or 4 months. Okay? And so doing, they had to fight a lot of races. The things that they need, they couldn't get them. So they know, hey, they can do it anyway. You get what I'm saying? And along the way, crossing the Mississippi River, going out west, down in Mexico, all across the land, they had to endure the heat. Can you imagine a guy rode the horse until the horse had caused blisters on their rear? Can you imagine? Now, I'm pretty sure they had something to soothe themselves down at night. Eating pork and beans every time, baked beans every night. Hardly ever got a good meal until they get to a good town, because they lived out on the trail all the time. So we know that they persevere beyond your belief. They can say that what they didn't do, how they did it. But at the end of the day, they complete the task. Building bridges. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
The bridge couldn't fall in now. You know how that goes. So they had to reinforce the bridge. You know that. So, it was a great task. And I can have sympathy and I understand, because I've gone to work myself. And the little time that I learned, getting up early in the morning for the break of day. Can you imagine guys out there laying in the woods, getting up, looking at the stars in the sky, and they got to take a little spot wash. Hey man, can you imagine, man, out there, and you heard the squirrels and the foxes and the chirping around you, and you say, hey. But the first thing, when they did hear things like that, you imagine, they said, well, we're going to have that squirrel for dinner tomorrow night. Look here. So, you had them brothers to know how to cook. So, hey, that was a great benefit, because we had to endure. Did you?
So was it more like, so it was war, right?
Yeah.
You said it was slavery? It was a slavery? Was it more like...
No, that was the end of slavery, because in 1863, things started changing. But they used them as fixing forts, clearing the road, dealing with the Indian campaign. And this is one of the things the guy I was thinking about that I was telling this while ago, that a lot of blacks, the Buffalo Soldiers, had gone into the point where they had some activities with the Native Indians. So by doing so, what happened is they got some bad rap. But at the same time, they done what? They did what they was told to do. They got some bad rap. They sent them on to, I'm sure, to massacre some. Can you imagine? So these things come from our government. Once they tell you, say this is what you do, and they send you with your sergeant or your captain or whatever out to complete the task, you got to go and get it done. And this is where the difference has come. And a lot of times people stood back and watched those things happen, but they got that chance to wash their hands of it. But it means the same. The government told them to do so. So what they did, they act upon that. So it's a hard pill to swallow. even into war today, it's the same way. I don't care how it looks over there in battle. Our government tell us to go. What we do, we go. They tell us to do this, we do this. We come back home and wipe our hands. And then there are some people that's to punish so bad until we have, they call it the PTSD going on. You can't help it because one day you living like what's a king or queen, and next day you are fighting on the front line, killing somebody. Now, and then 20 years later, you wake up in the middle of the night hollering, because your spirit and your willingness to do what your government said come in conflict with your body. Your ideas and your head, oh man, is swelling up. Here you go, you got your natural body react. And here you go, end up, you got to go to the hospital. And now they say there ain't nothing wrong with you. You just having a problem, this, that. It's your stomach aching or your head aching. They're trying to keep it off the grid. So now we see that a lot of things is happening over a period of time, and they got to get it fixed. We depended on the government to look out for us. We did our service. Now we're looking for the government to do what? Their service. Shortly, just a while ago, we was talking about somebody along the way was praying. And this is what God has given me about the prayer. As I was drawing this, and I can imagine what this man thought, they clearing the way for the new roads that gonna be in the future. And they going out the hills of the Shenandoah Valley, in Tennessee, wherever it was, to forge and go west to provide new lands after the Civil War was over. And what they had to endure, through the stars and snares they had to go, cross many rivers they had to, cross many mountains they had to. So we see that they put their work in, and yet still is. We saw movies about them during the World War II. So they are still persevering. There was black troops, just the back camp. There was no whites in it because they had problem of white leading blacks, and a black captain or sergeant leading white. And so it took a little while to get those things lined up and straight. Prayer brought us here. Prayer got us through a lot of things. And you can't give up on prayer. Prayer calls us to forge many streams. Ain't you heard it say, climb every mountain, forge every stream, follow every rainbow, what? Until you find your dream. Yeah, so we have done that, and will continue to do so. Our kids will, our grandkids, the ones that's not even being born yet, will continue to do so. Pointing out the things that haven't been talked about, and yet people want to know. This is all about our ancestors from the land that we come from, Africa. Hey, look at that. Look at here. The caravan crossing the desert. The pyramid. And that name of that one there is called She. This is King Tut when he was a baby, a child. These are the people that worked around the throne of the king. These are warriors right here, early warriors. Here's a warrior, Shaka Zulu, Zulu. And this is one of the latest, they call not the Buffalo Soldiers, they call them the women of the Amazon. They were warriors. There's a place over there in Africa that there was just nothing but women there. They were fierce fighters. They would fight harder than men. This is a queen right there. You see that? That's a queen right there. There's a lot of information on her. There's 5 great queens of Africa. And so on and so forth. It's just so many places that we have come. We have traveled everywhere we have gone. And we come to find out now, people has been to China from Africa, Japan from Africa, Australia from Africa, all over the world. And now we're finding out, archaeology saying that there is records of African people here over 1,000 years ago. So can you imagine all the history yet to be discovered because the white society don't want you to know about it. That's why they don't have it in school now. I'm opening my mouth straight open, just like they open history book is. Because they know what they're doing. They do it intentionally. And they sent us to school, but they want us to be what? Dumb. We don't supposed to be dumb. We're smart. God, hey, the first surgeries I heard that came from where? Africa. That's right. So, you know, we got something to thank God for, and yet we are persevering through religion, through whatever that keeps us going, and we don't give up. So, hey, I'm in for the full course. I'm letting you know that, hey, we haven't gave up, and when we saw that interaction of January the 6th, it was the realest thing, and I think we're so laid back, we don't even know when people get right there, they have attacked the country about to take over. That morning, let me tell you on this one. That morning, I was in a PTS class, PTST class, and I told them we just hope Donald Trump don't touch a switch and blow somebody up. That afternoon, 3 or 4 o'clock, the insurrection happened. Sure did. The insurrection happened. And we found out that the 3 truckloads of explosives up there near the Capitol. If Donald Trump and walked down there with his folks like he told them to come and go with him to that White House. He could have took over the country, man. Nobody don't think about it now. But I saw it. I know I saw it. Because many other people saw it, and they don't want it. Listen, here's one of the things I want folks to get in there, the heart. When a man tells 23,000 lies, got a third of the country's votes, yes, third of the country votes, the other two evidently went to Biden. When I asked, what happened in heaven? Okay. Satan lied to God, and God, he did it so slick, he really couldn't find accusation. But yet they pitched a battle. He took a third, listen how I'm saying, he took a third of heaven with him. Same thing with Donald Trump. A third of heaven. He really has mixed this country up, and we are it's not in a good mood and are not in a good position right now. They're still killing black people. So, hey, we still got a lot of praying to do and talk to the master about get on our knees just like we just saw that picture and keep on praying till something to change will come. All right? I know I got carried away there for a second or two, but that's what we're, sometimes we got to have it within our hearts, knowing what we see, we better reveal it. There God kept people on the wall watching and praying. And we are, as Americans, we got to pray and seek God's face and turn from our wicked ways. If we don't, bad things are coming upon America. I hate to say it, but no, I don't hate to say it, because if you sow good seed, you're going to reap what? What you sow. If you sow bad seed, what you going to reap? You're going to reap them too. So we're getting to the point where it's going to be a reaping time. That's right. So we still on the battlefield. I'm on the battlefield for the Lord. But at the same time, render unto Caesar what is Caesar, render unto God what is his. So we got to serve our country through voting. Have you ever heard so many, how many years was people still fighting for the vote? Don't want people to vote. Here we in 2021, and we're still dealing with voting rights of a man in America. Dealing with the brown children. When the insurrection, there's a white woman coming out with a Confederate flag, saying the same, this is the browning of America. I hear it on TV all the time, the browning of America. They started stalking black people with the strongest one, the male and female, so they can pick that card. So then they do the heavy lifting, do the work on the phone, making billions of dollars. They make billions of dollars off cotton. When I go by a cotton field now, I look. When I put my clothes on there, I still look. Cotton. So we see, hey, we still got a chores to do, got a job to do, and we're going to continue to be done. I want you to just get a rough estimate of what to do. Let me show this. This one right here. This is where it tripped me
tripped me out. This is what tripped me out right here. This is what tripped me out. No, this is what I was telling you about the 761st Tank Battalion. Them guys were bad, man. They won 90 Medals of Honor. They gave them a pea shooter tank. The bullets bounced off the German tanks, man. Look at here. Can you imagine, man? The bullets bouncing off the tank, and you look at it, you hit a man hard as you can, and he's standing there looking at laughing at you. What you gonna do, man? That's what the pea shooter was hitting that tank, and the guys turned tail and run. They had to run. And then what they did, they run to the hedgerow and turn up and had the tank pointed up. They can shoot at the belly of the tank, and that's where they got the tank, cause that's the weakest spot. Okay, here, this is what I want you to see. See, anything you want to know, man, is here. Right here, right here, right here, right here. These all the campaigns they have been through. Look at the campaign. Look at that. All this. Look at that. What? The black people, them Buffalo Soldiers, man. The black people, the Buffalo Soldier was the one about the Sierra Mountain. They cleared and cleaned that place, man. And soon they cleaned the place, the president went and got some black folks, the white folks, after they cleaned it up. Smart enough to clean it up, fix it up, and then they turn it over to look at all this, look at that. These walls and all this stuff that they did. Look at that, look at that. I'm trying to tell you, man. The Buffalo Soldier, man, did some, and I can't tell it all. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell it all. Look at that. See all the artwork I got up there? This is John Randall right here. This is the acting man for John Randall. Mm-hmm. He got a cut across his cheek. You see that, man? Mm-hmm. This is looking. I did a painting on screen for a lady did a video. That guy there looked like Jamie Foxx. Look at it. Look at him, don't it? Mm-hmm. See? Here's a lady. You know, you heard about Kathy Brown, don't you? Is the first black female to go in the military. She slipped in there and act like she was a man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she sure did. So God did great things through time and effort. Mm-hmm, look around. See, that's some other things, but I just wanted you to look at these up here. So hey, I'm always doing something here. Mm-hmm. Look at when you see it from up here. Look at the soldier. Let me tell you about this man. His name Robert Goff. He's the man right here. Robert Goff. He's the white man that left the glory in the movie called Glory. This the man that led the battle. He died. Fort Wagner.
Which one did he?
Mm-hmm. The white guy, the white man. His name is Robert Goff. And this man here went to the academy. He was the owner, and the man was trying to sell him. So give him. Let me see. was it $5,000 to let his son graduate in his place. Is that sad, man?
Yeah.
The white man, I don't mean no harm, man. Some folks, there's something wrong. I don't mean no harm. I ain't trying to talk about it, but it done the act. God getting tired of that. God get tired of that. That's right. You see them people, see them men there, got them, one in color, one is not in color. So all this information, all this stuff that I'm doing, in the name of the Lord, because I always keep him first. That's right. Beautiful pictures of the blood. Here I got Jefferson Memorial and all that. So God is good, man. Hey, he's gooder than sweeter than honey. Honey, man, it's good now. I ain't talking about that hug, honey. I ain't talking about that hug, honey. I ain't lying, man. Look at here. Look at here. This was on TV some years back, right here. That was they called the beginning. Can you imagine? In the beginning, back there when they had Adam and Eve and God. Yeah, so much God has blessed me with, and we ain't seen it all yet. I'm just hoping our country to come together. So the black folk ain't going nowhere.
Sure ain't.
Hey, they better get that straight. You know, the white girls are now flocking to the black men. Now what we gonna do about that? I ain't doing nothing. Hey, it's just payback time, that's all.
Yeah.